A tree in Yolanda's backyard is 2.68 meters tall. If the tree grows zero point 0.4 meters each month, how many months has the tree been growing? So the total height is 2.68 and it's growing 0.4 meters each month. So you're going to divide by that. However, there's a problem. You can't have a decimal outside. So we have to move this decimal to the very end and call this a 4. However, when you do that, if you moved it, we moved it one number to the right, so we got to move the decimal inside one number to the right. So I'm going to call this 26.8. Now before you start dividing, you want to move your decimal straight up. Okay, 4 doesn't go into 2, but it goes into 26. 4 goes into 26 6 times. 6 times 4 is 24. Then you subtract. 26 take away from 24 is 2. And you bring down the next number, 8. 4 goes into 28 7 times. Notice I just skip over the decimal. 7 times 4 is 28. Subtract, and when you get to 0 as an answer and you don't have any more numbers to bring down, you are actually finished. So the tree, it's been growing for 6.7 months. Rachel needs to plow 2 4/10 acres of land. So that's the total. The total always goes inside. She can plow 3.2 acres an hour. How many hours will it take? So again, we can't just have a 3.2 outside. It can't be a decimal. So what you do is move the decimal to the end and call it 32. But if you do that, we move the decimal one number to the right, so move 1 to the right inside. So that decimal is going to be at the end, so it's going to be 24. Okay, so here's the problem. 32 cannot go into 24, so you need to start making a decimal number to be dividing. And I usually start off with 2 zeros and just bring your decimal point up. So 32 does not go into 24, so I can put a 0. Now you want to deal with the first number and the first two numbers. So 32 goes into 240. Well, 3 goes into 24 8 times. So I'm going to try 8 and see if it works. 8 times 2 is 16. Carry the 1. 8 times 3 is 24, but the 1 is 25, so that's too big. So whenever it's too large, you have to go down 1. So we're not going to do 8. And you don't want to do these with ink pen. You want to do them with a pencil and an eraser. We're going to try 7. 7 times 2 is 14. Write down the 4, carry the 1. We can use this 1 over here. 7 times 3 is 21, plus 1 is 22. We're going to subtract. So you can't do 4 from 0, so I'm going to borrow from this 4 and call it a 3. Bring the 1 over. 10 take away 4 is 6. 3 take away 2 is 1, and 2 take away 2 is 0, so that's done. Bring down your next number, 0. Now 3 goes into 16 5 times, so let's try the 5. 5 times 2 is 10. Write the 0, we'll still use the 1 we carried. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1 is 16, and you subtract and you get 0, which means you are finished. So it will take 3/4 of an hour. Okay, they've switched this one up on you. You got to be careful. Raphael volunteers 4/10 hours each day. If he volunteered a total of 34.4 hours, how many days did he volunteer? You've got to remember, it's not just the numbers. The numbers don't put them in the order they give you. You've got to have the total inside. So the total is 34.4. And we're dividing that with 0.4. So I need to move the decimal to the end and call it a 4. And since I moved one number to the right, you're going to move one number to the right, and this is just going to be 344. We don't have a decimal right now. We might have to add more later. Okay, 4 doesn't go into 3, but it goes into 34. 4 goes into 34 8 times. 8 times 4 is 32, so subtract. 34, take away 32 is 2. Bring down the 4. 4 goes into 24 6 times. 6 times 4 is 24. Subtract. So he volunteered for 86 days. We didn't have a decimal answer on this one.